outside at around midnight and I could see them behind my house. They were hot pink and turquoise. They were easier to see in my phone camera than with just my normal eyes, but I'd say they lasted for about an hour that I could see them.
And she hit the nail on the head there, too. You know, it's something that it was vivid enough in most cases for you to be able to see with the naked eye last night. But if you had a phone camera or certainly a maybe perhaps higher powered camera, something that has night mode where you could get a longer exposure, it's kind of one of those events where, weirdly enough, a picture may actually look better than what you see physically with your own eyes. But hey, nonetheless, take a look. Another shot of this here from Chesney. This from Phillip out of that area last night. You got those shimmers, those curtain-like appearances as those particles make their way into Earth's atmosphere. Just a beautiful, beautiful sight. So with all of that in mind, I wanted to talk about some of the science involved here with what's happening here. Consider this an impromptu moment of science. So this all starts with Earth's magnetic field. It's this protective force field, if you will, that actually is generated from within Earth's core and then kind of fans out into space. What this does is it protects us from harmful particles that float around in space, interestingly enough, most of which come at us from the sun. Now, the collective surge of these molecules that originate from the sun, we refer to that as the solar wind. It's constantly emanating out into space from the sun, barraging us with these charged particles, protons and electrons. And when they interact with Earth's magnetic field, some are deflected safely away from our planet, but others of these molecules will actually follow the magnetic field lines to where the magnetic field is weakest around Earth. This generally happens around Earth's or around the poles, I should say. It's something, when you think of the Northern Lights, you think of something that's, say, up closer to the polar regions in Canada or parts of, say, northern Alaska, give or take. That's where the Earth's magnetic field is generally weakest, and those particles are able to enter Earth's atmosphere. But in the case of this weekend, where we're getting this overwhelming bombardment of higher than usual particles coming in from the solar wind, those auroras are able to fan out to lower, more southern regions in our case than is typically seen. And this is all the result of those electrons finding those weak points in Earth's magnetic field, finding their way into our atmosphere. When the electrons collide with molecules in the atmosphere, they essentially pick up an electric charge. That electric charge causes them to glow a certain color depending on how high they are in the atmosphere, where those molecules are, and what exactly they bump into. In the case of red auroras, some of which we saw last night, those are oxygen molecules, but nitrogen also contributes to creating some blue or even the pink shades that we were seeing last night. Oxygen also plays a hand in creating some of the green shades too. So it's that blend of oxygen and nitrogen molecules picking up an electric charge from that solar bombardment, and there's just so much of it going on that it fans out over a larger portion of the planet and just creates that beautiful sight. So again, while we're waiting to see if this will play out again for tonight, if we can get the timing right, best viewing options are going to be somewhere get you away from city lights. Look for areas where dark skies, where you can find a clear view of those dark skies. And if things ramp up, these will be most active between the 9 o'clock hour all the way through to about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I will say at least this, like last night, it does look like the weather's going to cooperate. We'll see temperatures dip closer to the 50s as the night goes on, but we're expecting largely clear skies straight on into tomorrow morning. So happy hunting, and of course, like last night, if you manage to get some pictures, please send them to us here at Fox Carolina. We would love to see them and share them with you on air. I'll have a look at your Mother's Day forecast, though, as we pivot away from these northern lights. That's all coming up in a few minutes.